Today we are off to Honda Dobles in Coulsdon to test ride the new Honda Hornet 1000. I've been excited to test ride this bike. I don't know if you guys caught the video of the CB350, but if you haven't, that's been doing quite well. Might be worth a watch, but as I said on the previous video, if you're looking at getting a CB1000, I doubt you've got interest in the 350, but you never know. Yeah, so I went out yesterday on the Harley, which ended extremely badly. So if you haven't watched that video, then now might be a good idea to catch up with that. Long story short, I thought, oh, the weather was good yesterday, sun was out. I thought it would be a good opportunity to take the bike out. So I get out, everything's going fine, and then I get about 1.5 miles away and the bike begins to start cutting out for no apparent reason. The bike wouldn't start and I'm about 2 miles away from home, so I had to walk home and yeah, come back with a friend to come and pick the bike up in my van. So yeah, yesterday was an absolute failure on the bike, but it's all been documented, it's all on video. So yeah, if you haven't seen that and you fancy a laugh at my expense, then it's probably a good idea to watch that video. Okay, well I won't ramble on too much. I need to get some fuel and then I will see you at Dobles. We're here. The K1 did a sterling job as always. God, I am falling a little bit in love with this bike. It's been so much fun. Surprising for the age of it how good it is. But anyway, we're not here to critique the K1 today. We're here to look at the Hornet. So let's jump on that. Outside the dealer now. This is her. She's in the grey. I quite like the red actually when it's the standard one. But let's see what she has to offer. She sounds nice. That is a huge exhaust, isn't it? It reminds me of the bin in my summer house. I'll insert a picture. It's huge. Okie doke. I'm hoping it's comfortable because in my old age, oh, and it is. Oh, those light clutches. I don't know what Honda are doing to me with these extra light clutches at the moment, but they're spoiling me. Oh, this clutch is... Oh, it's got heated grips on this as well. Beautiful. Yeah, these light clutches are a real game changer. Oh, the seat's firmer than I thought, but it is more comfortable than I thought it was going to be. Super smooth. I love the screen as well, actually. Oh, fire brigade. Yeah, that TFT screen's really nice. Right, let's get a bit of housekeeping out of the way, shall we? You've heard it all before if you've seen any reviews, but we'll go over the specs anyway. So 2017 5-blade engine, 150 horsepower in this version, 155 in the SP version. SP has the Öhlins TTX rear shock. It has a quick shifter as standard on the SP, that is. Let's get away from this bus before we start talking about facts. So what else has the SP got? The extra 5 horsepower, and it comes with a black and gold paint job, which is very, very similar to the old CB1000 actually. I'll insert a picture. So yeah, I think Honda are a little bit lazy with the design there because that's already been done. But there you go. And obviously it's Brembo's on the SP. So yeah, and all that for an extra £1,000 for the SP version over this standard one. But it's good to actually just get on the standard one. I know everyone's raving about the SP, and you know, I try and stay away from videos of bikes, but to be honest, I couldn't really stay away from it with the Hornet. As always, you know, they were doing the tests in Spain and all that sort of stuff. Well, you haven't got Spain today, you've got Croydon. So this is real world testing, right? This is what you'll actually be doing, and I'm going to be using the bike today like I'd use any one of my bikes, doing the mundane. I like to do mundane tasks using an exciting vehicle because it makes the whole experience that little bit more bearable. So what will we do today? Well, I'm going to go get my hair cut. I've got to pick the missus something up from a supermarket that she wants, and yeah, just take it on different type of roads and see what we think. But first impressions are good. I mean, at this point in time, it feels no different to any sort of, you know, naked with a bit of power. But yeah, we'll see. Try and find what the dynamics are like on it. Yeah, she's got plenty of torque. And this one comes with a quick shifter as well, which is nice. And I was quite surprised that the cost of the quick shifter as an option is only £200. I mean, to be honest, as a no-brainer goes, even just for resale value, right, for 200 quid, it's yeah, a very, very well-priced option. I mean, where does this bike sit in the market? Well, what have you got? MT-09. A lot of people are comparing it to the S1000, but obviously that's a lot more money. Then I have heard other people comparing to sort of, you know, the high-end Aprilia version and Ducati Street Fighter and stuff, which isn't a fair comparison in my opinion. It sort of sits in a bit of a market of its own for power to value, or to cost rather. I mean, at £9,000, what else are you going to buy for 9 grand with 150 odd horsepower? Obviously the engine comes from a Fireblade, so that's always nice. I mean, I'm a big fan of Street Fighters. I love Street Fighter style bikes. I'm not one for the whole knuckle dusters and all that sort of stuff, but I did always used to like when they used to take like a blade like the SC28, and they used to, you know, somebody, let's be honest, would be in an accident. They take all the fairing off, they stick a single headlight on it, some Renthal bars, and call it a Street Fighter. But it just made the bike more usable, was the joke of it. I mean, I find when I'm riding sports bikes, I can ride something like this quicker point to point than I can a sports bike, because I'm so hunched over, and yeah, I just don't think it lends itself well to road riding on a sports bike. And obviously I think that's the way everyone's gone, really, you know. Sports bike market's very different now to what it was. But what a lot of people seem to have not mentioned as well about this is not obviously the first time Honda have done this. They done it with the CB900 years and years ago, where they had the 918 blade engine in the 900, which to be honest was a bit of a sales flop. In my opinion, I mean, not like, you know, the CB600 Hornet, where they just sold by the absolute bucket. So the 900 didn't. So they're getting a bit more of a cult following nowadays, sort of value-wise, are going up a bit. But you know, Honda did I don't know if anyone's going to remember, they probably will, but the X11, the Honda X11, which had the Blackbird engine in, which was about 240 kilos and about 140 horsepower, you know, back then. And again, that was a bit of a flop, sales-wise. Well, not a bit of a flop, I think it was a major flop. So yeah, it's the market has changed a lot over the years. But as I say, yeah, the Street Fighter guys were doing this for years, and this is nothing new, you know. Stick a sports bike engine in a steel frame like this, and yeah. Alright, let's give it a bit of a poke up here. I didn't drop down the gears either, I wanted to feel the torque, and yeah, it's torquey. It's just the ease of riding, it rides so easily, oh. Especially with the way this clutch is. I keep going on about these Honda clutches at the moment and how easy they are, but it really is, for me, a bit of a game changer. I love a light clutch. Some people might like a bit firmer than that, but not me. Alright, well, we got the day for it anyway. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of reviews going about on this bike, and as I say, I try to stay away from them, but the one I did see was a 44 teeth one, where they test rode the SP, and that was somewhere in Spain. It looks fantastic, but it's not the riding I tend to do very often, or at all. You know, if I go away on the bike, it's, you know, France, Germany type. You know, it's very rarely Spain, so yeah, it's quite hard to, I think, to gauge what a bike's really like when, yeah, I mean, that's why the manufacturers do it, right? They put you in that position where it's just such a great experience. It wouldn't really matter what bike you're on. So if you are in that environment and you have an incredible bike, then it just hyperinflates your opinion of it, I think. You know, the manufacturers aren't silly, especially Honda. The grey, I don't mind the grey. They do it in the white as well. I quite like the red, actually. But obviously, if you get the SP, you've got one colour. Oh, yeah, you've got one colour, and that's the matte black and the gold. So, yeah, I mean, I was speaking to Paul at Nobles a couple of weeks ago, and I was sort of saying to him, you know, I don't know why you would choose this bike over the SP, and that's what I'm going to find out today. I mean, their team made the right point. Well, you know, you can save £1,000 or £800 after you've, you know, and just spec the quick shifter, and then you can have what colour you want. I mean, to be honest, I'm not, you know, too fussed really when it comes to colours, as long as it's not offensive. I mean, I would actually like to see them do something in a really, you know, a few bright hues. You know, it's, you know, greys, whites, and, you know, reds, and they're all fine, but I would like to see, you know, a bright orange, or something a little bit out there as well, because I think it would do well. I mean, I certainly would buy one that's in a bit more of a punchy colour. But I'm going to do a strange comparison for you guys today as well. My car has to go in for a service, and I think this shares quite a few similarities with it, actually. I was thinking the other day, that may sound like an odd thing to say, but you'll understand more when I do my comparison, so bear with there. Alright, so these roads here are terrible, and the tarmac's just absolutely torn to hell, and it's very compliant. All the switch gear's quite nice. I mean, that's a Honda thing, right? Everything feels well put together. I mean, to be honest, you'd be more shocked if Honda come out with an absolute turkey than actually coming out with a top bike. It's just the ease. It's just so easy. Like coming down on the K1 today. You know, that was designed 35 years ago, 40 years ago really, by the time it was actually being designed, and that just feels like an absolute dinosaur, because it is, in fairness. It's an absolute dinosaur. It's heavy, unwieldy. The centre of gravity is a little bit odd on that as well. Right, come on, let's get through this light if we can. Yes, the first impressions are very positive, but when we get off, we'll have a good look around the bike as well, because when I was in the showroom, I tried to not even look at the bike actually while I was there. I wanted my impression to really be after I'd ridden it as well, because we can sort of fall in love with something just at the first sight. If we just like the looks of it, we then sort of egg it on to be good. So it's great to actually just jump on it and see what it's like. So the 25 plates have just come out, and I was speaking to the guys in there, and they've sold many of these already. I think there's a bit of a waiting list though. If you want the SP, I think there's a good sort of 3-month lead time. I might be wrong on that. You'll have to speak to Nobles to confirm exactly what the lead time is on having an SP1. SP? I've always got the SP1s and the SP2s in my brain. I can't get them out of them. I don't know why. I just think they're a real great investment at the moment, as you probably saw in a video I did the other day. But yeah, these manufacturers aren't too original with their naming. Everything's either SP, or is this CB, or CBF, or CBR, or it's yeah, a bit unoriginal. But I suppose anytime you stick a an SP in front of something, you know, they automatically expect it to be, you know, the sporty variant, or R. If you stick an R in red at the end of anything, then all of a sudden that's the hot one, right? Okie doke. Well, I'm gonna go and get my barnet chopped, because I'm not going to be able to fit my helmet soon, because it's getting such a bouffon. Right, I've had my hair cut, I could probably buy a helmet 2 sizes smaller now, which is good. Saying that, I did buy a helmet a couple of weeks ago actually, and I must have a head like a medicine ball, because I had to get a size 62, which I think is a double XL. Oh, must be making up for something else. Right, I've done the mundane tasks. The missus sent me shopping as well, so I've got the bits she wanted. And it's always a good sign for me, as if I am itching to get back on the bike. And I was excited to get back on this. I did think when I was walking over to it, it's quite obviously understated, but I did think if it was the SP version, I would probably be a little bit more like, oh wow, this feels a bit more sort of special. But that's just, I mean, like any of these things, the novelty wears off anyway, you know. You think you want the SP, you think, oh yeah, I'll get this and I'll get that, and you never use it, and then after a few weeks, novelty wears off anyway, so. But I suppose, oh, look at those bumps, and it's soaked them up well actually. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a longer route back. As I said, I've got someone coming to collect the car to be serviced. But that's where I'm going to show you around the bike and show you where the similarities with that car and this bike start and end. I do like to filter. I was watching a video the other day, and it was I think it was an American guy who was filtering, and they hate it over in the US, people filtering. I think it's illegal in some states. Yeah, they get really bent out of shape over it. When you go over though, on to France or Germany, where they've got some really nice roads, you're treated so well by the car users. It's like you're coming along with a siren on. They just like dive out of your way, and they wave at you as well in France if you're on a bike, which is nice. I mean, I do get waved at a lot in Croydon, but it's a very knuckly wave. Alright, let's watch this guy. Paranoid biker alert, paranoid biker alert. The quick shifter's nice. First time I used it. It's a really smooth quick shifter actually. Right, I'm going to give it a bit of a quick shift love. Ah, oh, she's lovely with a quick shifter. Beautiful. I'm going to take more of the country route. I'm a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. Yeah, it gives me the confidence actually, because this roundabout's normally a little bit greasy, so I always be very careful around here. The mirrors are plentiful. Always be careful around here because you don't know what's around this corner. Try and keep my eyes off the speedo. I am doing legal speeds. In fact, I am actually doing legal speeds, but you can get up there pretty quickly with this bike. Do you know what? I'm just short shifting using the torque. There's plenty of torque. You can really get point to point quickly in on one of these. Oh, Po, I see you. I see you, Mr. Officer. Look at him. Yeah. There's a little bit of a switchback corner coming up, which always takes the bulky bikes by a bit of surprise. I mean, this bike weighs 212 kilos wet. Yeah, easy. So it is just a steel frame with a sports bike engine in. That quick shifter, look at her go. As I say, I'm just quick shifting through the gears. You know, I'm not revving the bejesus out of it. There's no need to. And this is the whole point of something like this. you're riding a sports bike, you're going to be boom, boom, like all over the place, and you know you're going to be, the revs are going to be high, and you're going to have your backside up in the air. And with this, I'm comfortable. Would like a little more throttle response. But it's not snatchy. That's one thing I cannot stand, snatchy fueling. Oh. It's really unintimidating is the best word for it, if that is really a word. It's to be honest, it feels like a powerful, like, you know, CB650 or something. You know, that's what it feels like when you're sitting on it. It just feels really, I know that may not sound like a compliment, but it is. Because let's be honest, we don't want anything tricky. We don't want anything difficult. We all like bikes that are different, but we don't like them to be different in the way that they're a pain to use. I'll tell you one naked that I did have that really didn't, it was more of a muscle bike really. I mean, the equivalent would have been a CB 1300. Again, Honda with their Cs and their Bs and their CBs. Yeah, their equivalent CB 1300 I had years ago, the GSX 1400, which I must say was an absolute disappointment. It felt no faster than a Bandit, a Mark 1 Bandit 1200. Just heavier, and it was really soggy suspension, and it was comfortable, but it was just, and there's a bit of a following for them now as well. I mean, they're going for, like the original one, the blue and white, the original with the white wheels, is going for silly money. And trust me, a Bandit 1200 is just as much fun as one of those. It just got me onto the subject of nakeds, that was all. Quick shift, quick shift, quick shift. That's always going to be stuck in my head every time I do that now. Quick shift, quick shift, quick shift. Yeah, it is getting a little bit firm on the derriere, I'll be honest. I mean, that's easily sorted. I've got one of those travel things. It's like something with somebody with piles would have. It's one of those sort of blow up cushions that sort of wrap around your seat, and they are really good actually if you're doing a really long ride. I mean, look at just the state of these roads, and you know what, it feels, it's so confidence inspiring. That's the thing with this bike. That's what people haven't really got across to me on the videos I have seen. Is just, I mean, there's the ease of use, yes, but there's the confidence as well that it gives you. Yeah, I'm taking you down some absolutely horrific roads, and that's the point, right? These aren't beautiful, sweeping Spanish country roads. This is the Cronks. Or as good as. I'm sure everybody who lives around here would die before they'd admit they were anywhere part of Croydon. But yeah, we're a little bit out of Croydon now. Yeah, that seat's not getting any softer. Stop messing about with the modes a bit as well. There you go. Let's try this sporty mode. Yeah, she does pick up her coattails, I'll give her that. I mean, I did see a lot of people in comments going, oh, well, it's only 150 horsepower. Let's be honest, a naked bike with 100 horsepower is more than enough, let alone sticking another 50 to 55 horsepower on top. But it is nice to have that. Right, what we're going to do is, we're in fifth gear. Let's drop down to 3,000 revs and we'll just see what the torque is like. Oh my word, that's impressive, to be fair. That was fifth gear, 3,000 revs at about 48, 49 mile an hour, and she just Just gone. That's what I like. There's no point having peaky power on the road. There just isn't. I mean, I'll argue anybody over that. There is just no point, because you can't use it. I mean, everyone knows I like my two-strokes, but they need to have, you know, the def, you know, ridden out of them, which you can do because there's not too much power. But yeah, to have peaky sports bikes power in yeah, on the road, is you're going to get left behind by something like this. I'm sure there are riders in the comments that are way better than I am, but the fact of the matter is, it's just point to point. It's a quick bike. Makes a bit of a change from the GB 350 I rode last week. I love that little bike, I must say. I really did. Because that little thing you could obviously, you know, rag the living daylights out of. This on the road, you can't. Do you need that extra 5 horsepower from the SP version? No, you don't. Would you like it? Yes. Would I like it? Yes. But again, we go back to the old adage we said the other day about it's about needing and wants, right? I mean, you can make a case to have the £10,000 SP, but the smart money really is on the Bogo standard bike. Right, we're going to lean on the brakes a bit. The Bogo standard brakes on this, not the Brembos. Alright, we've got no one behind us. Yeah. Good. There's no delay as well. If you race on these bikes, the ABS then, you know, cuts in too early and you get that sort of wooden feel, but not at all. Quick shift, quick shift, quick shift. I hope that sticks in all of your minds now, whenever you use a bike with quick shift. I'll start tickling the modes. What are we doing here? There we go. I could ride this thing all day. It just needs a little bit of a softer seat for me. I basically need a Honda Hornet Grandma spec, where it's got one of those crocheted pillows. And maybe it could have some sort of display to tell me what time Cash in the Attic is on. That's what you get. I'm on the wrong side of 30 now, so my needs and wants are very different. I mean, if you'd asked me 10, 15 years ago, I would have been a sports bike guy. But then I've also got to be honest with myself, even then I didn't actually enjoy riding them that much. I just enjoyed owning one and the look of it, and I'd be all hunched up and I'll get back and think, yeah, that was quite a miserable experience. But by the next time I went out on the bike, I'd forgotten that. It's a bit like playing golf, right? Sometimes you have a really great round of golf, and you're itching to get back. But even when you have the worst game in the world, you say how much you hate the game, and then you're back there 2 days, 3 days later. Quick shift, quick shift. So this bike has shower front forks. These are adjustable. It's the same forks on the SP. So you're not getting anything there more for your money with the SP. The forks are the same, but they are adjustable, which is nice. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to have a good walk around the bike and do my strange comparison test, but it will hopefully make more sense when I do it. So toodles. Right guys, it's going to be an odd comparison comparing the Hornet to an Aero Atom 4, but there are reasons for that. One, tubular frame,
very similar design. Also, on the SP version, the Öhlins TTX is the same. That's what's on the Aerial Atom, well, or the car variant anyway. Brembo brakes, also on the SP version, are an option on the Aerial Atom 4. And the engine, similar year, out of a late 2016-17 Honda Civic Type R, 2017 Honda Fireblade. So it shares quite a few similarities, not to mention the power to weight ratio is pretty much similar. This weighs 212 kilos, 150 horsepower. This has had a few bits done to it. This is around about 380 horsepower, weighing in about 550 kilos, maybe a bit more. It depends. I've never actually weighed this, but it's also similar, very similar power to weight ratios, which is sort of made me think. And obviously Honda engines as well from the two of them, but the biggest difference between these two is the price, where the bog standard car I think is around about £50,000, I think, but by the time you actually spec it, it's way more. Whereas this, £8,000, spend an extra £1,000 and you've got all the options. So yeah, this makes, well, and obviously the other comparison is this is supposed to be a bargain for, you know, in its class, and this is the same. This is an absolute bargain in its class for what it does as well. So yeah, I thought I'd show you the same sort of similarities. This is going off for a service. Yeah, I thought it'd be a bit more of an interesting comparison, just to let you know what sort of performance you are getting for £9,000. I mean, in car terms, this is a bargain for its performance, absolute bargain. You know, there's not anything really any quicker that you're going to get, well, there isn't anything any quicker you're going to get for the money. And I think this is what sort of made me think there's quite a few similarities between this and the Atom 4. I know it's a bit of an odd one, but yeah, I thought it was worth a mention. Let's have a bit of a deep dive into this Hornet anyway. Okay, here we are. There's this 2017 Honda Fireblade engine. Talking I thought it would be, which is good. More than probably what the numbers probably give it credit for. The standard Nikon brake calipers. Obviously, as we know, Brembo's on the SP. And that enormous exhaust. And I'm not a big fan of the welds and some of the exhaust around here as well. Some of the welds look a little bit crass here as well, like it's, as you can see, it's a little bit crass with the welds. You know, they're not the smoothest thing. I mean, if you compare, so I mean, these are the welds. I mean, I know it's, you know, so it is easily done. I mean, if Aerial can do it, I'm sure Honda can smooth out a few welds. So that's one of my little complaints. It looks a little bit like a Ducati Street Fighter from the front. I do like the look of it, actually. I do like the look. Again, well, actually, as these number plate brackets go, this isn't the worst I've seen. At least this has got a bit of a design, but for me, it's how tidy. Quite like the rear light as well, and just the pointed rear end with that single seat hump as well, which, to be honest, isn't really sitting particularly flush, is it? Not great there. If you look at the panel gaps between the two, I can actually get my fingers in there, so not sure if that's been fitted badly or not, or what, but yeah, not the best of fit there, but there you go. Everyone's shouting, it's £9,000, what do you expect? But yes, apart from that, it's very well screwed together. As I say, just the welds are just a little bit rougher than I'd like, but there's that lovely quick shifter there. I mean, it's just basic, isn't it? And that's what I love. Steel frame, big engine, upright handlebars, job done. Yeah, these are the shower forks. As I said, adjustable. I love the bottom of the fork legs as well, and I love the way the caliper comes in that way. I mean, that used to be just sort of a thing for sports bikes with that sort of design a few years ago, but it all trickles down. Yeah, I do like the trellis frame. As I say, you know, it's got similarities, which is what made me think, as soon as I saw the bike, I thought, it reminds me a little bit of the Atom. So yeah, I'm hoping these downpipes will be a little bit more future-proof than previous Honda versions where they have rusted in the past. But I think Honda are over that at this point. But yeah, there's not a lot of protection from the road there. Big old radiator on it as well, isn't there? It's a good looking bike, you've got to give it that. It is a good looking, it's good looking in a sort of plain Jane way, and that's the sort of thing I like. I don't like too much going on. But yeah, that dustbin exhaust it's enormous. Absolutely enormous, but obviously to meet all the Euro 5 Plus bump it needs to. But yeah, it's a good looking bike. I must say, I do like the look of it, but yeah, I would like something a bit more of a juicier colour. Maybe like, yeah, the bright orange Atom there. Imagine that in orange, just a bit more stand out. So yeah, I thought I'd give you a bit of a walk around. Let's jump back on it and do a bit more riding.
Yes, so errands have been run, a post office run. Take something back that the good lady bought that she doesn't need anymore. Seems to be a regular occurrence. The car's been collected, which is sad. That's got to go all the way down to Ariel, which is about 200 miles away, for them to do the service and send me an extortionate bill. Which again, where something like this really does play into its own, it's just such a bargain for what you get. It really is. I mean, in summary, I might as well do a bit of a summary of the bike now. I've been out on it again, doing another sort of half hour, just around sort of streets that I'd have to use the bike on, and it really is very, very, very good. In fairness to it, it is. And £9,000. So what are the negatives? Well, the seat, for one. The seat is way too firm for me. Way too firm. I thought I'd be okay with it when I first got on it, but after I've done a good couple of hours on the bike now, and yeah, it's when you get off, I thought, oh, I'm going to be in a lot of pain. I wasn't actually in too much pain when I got off. You know, when you get on a really hard bike and you get off and everything feels a bit taut and a little bit stiff. Well, it didn't feel like that. It just feels very, very firm on the buttocks, which is a bit of a negative. As I said, a little bit of a moan about the welds on the subframe. Again, that's a manufacturing thing. They try to get, you know, the cost of these down as much as humanly possible. I mean, I can't see there being a massive margin in something like this, that's for sure. So the main question is, if I was in the market for a bike like this, a naked bike, would I buy the Honda Hornet CB1000? Quick shift, quick shift, quick shift. There's your answer, yes. Absolutely would I. Oh, no doubt about it. I've been throwing money at Honda. Throwing money at them. Take my money. I feel like I should be begging them to buy it, really. So, are Honda going to sell many of these? Yes, of course they are. So it's just down to you guys to decide whether you'd want the standard bike or the SP. I think if you're buying a bike as a bike to commute on, to get back to and from work on, just buy the standard bike. Don't bother with the SP. If it's your only bike and you want something that little bit more special, then I don't think you've got much choice but to buy the SP, to be honest. I mean, what would I buy? I mean, I could fall into either one of those categories, to be honest. I mean, this bike, just with the quick shifter, is more than you ever need. Absolutely more than you ever need. It's so easy to ride around town. And that's what we've been doing today, right? Yeah, we've done the country road stuff and whatever else. As you probably saw in my previous video on the GB350, I went on the motorway. Yeah, this will be fine on the motorway. There's no point wasting your time with that. We all know what 70 mile an hour feels like on a naked bike. Could you tour on it? Yeah, you could tour on it. I'd like a bit of a screen up there though if I was going to tour on it. But yeah, softer seat for me. So yeah, Honda on a bit of a roll at the moment. They are really bringing out some great bikes, but not just great bikes. So the great bikes at a price point that really sort of differentiate them between other manufacturers. You know, it's hard to compare like for like when you're getting such a bargain and you're getting more bike as well. So it sort of just, I think they really are, you know, competing with the, you know, the cheaper brands like CF Moto that are coming along now, and they're trying to sort of undercut people, and you know, but they're never, you know, they're never going to be on the sort of the standard of a Honda. So yeah, they're a little bit forward thinking, Honda, I think, in that way. It's been a real pleasure to ride this bike today, and if I'm ever in the market for a naked, I would definitely have one of these, no doubt about it. Right, okay guys, well, the usual embarrassing like and subscribe, as all YouTube people say. I know it's an embarrassing thing to have to hear, it's an embarrassing thing to have to say, so if you could put a little sub in there and a little like and a comment, and you know, have you ridden this bike and what are your thoughts on it? You know, if I have done a previous video, or probably about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, it was just what you can buy second hand for £10,000. So you know, if you wanted to go this second hand route, what you can buy for 10,000. So that might be a video you might want to check out. But yeah, big thumbs up from me from the Hornet, and a thanks to Dobles in Honda Causden. You know, if you are after one of these bikes, then get yourself down there. They've got a couple of test bikes, this being one of them. They're very helpful, they're very knowledgeable. They've been going for, I think 60 odd years now, so yeah, you don't stay in business that long if you don't know what you're doing. So they've got an incredible reputation. So yeah, get yourself down to Dobles and yeah, stick a deposit on one. Cheers guys, thanks so much, really appreciate you listening to my review of the CB. No quick shift, no quick shift.